What is up, Invaders Nation? It's me, Fourthcast, and my co-host Invaders on their new episode of the Attack on Titan Season 4 tier list.
That would be horrible to keep in.
Okay, what happened during the Uprising thing?
Oh, yeah. So my week-long battle of getting the Uprising video uploaded, because it turns out we swore too much.
Yeah, we said the F word too much. And by we, I mean I did.
I did too. Yeah, I think we're going to try to stop doing that now. Maybe.
It'll be very family-friendly from this point going forward. But it's a really good system YouTube has where it tells you there's something wrong with the video, but it won't tell you what, and you have to guess to make it usable.
I uploaded the video 30 times where I would just remove different parts, and every single time it would come back age restricted. And then I finally realized it was because we swore too much.
Narrowing down which parts of it were uploadable and which weren't. It was such a process, such a back and forth.
I expected the video to do a lot worse because AOT's over, but actually it's still on track with the last ones.
You guys really, really like us.
Yeah.
Well, we need you to send these videos to everyone you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually,
proselytize the series. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Fuck that like button.
maybe.
It'll be very family-friendly from this point going forward.
It actually does help if people like it. I've never once said that in any of my videos because I always think it's really annoying. But yeah, I mean, if you're liking the series, definitely do that because it will promote it in the algorithm. Well, what do we say about this? It's obviously they changed studios, and we don't know why exactly, at least from my understanding.
I mean, when you look at the production of Season 3 Part 2, it's not especially hard to kind of guess why.
Yeah, I don't think Wit was prepared for this kind of long-running thing. It is weird how they decided to drop it so far in, though. You would expect them usually to be Season 2's a different studio, not Season 4. What do we think? So it was during COVID, and then that trailer dropped, which was animated by actually the director of Vinland Saga for some reason.
I don't know if you can say COVID. During that, back in 2020, when everyone was at home, the trailer came out.
At home during the thing we can't say because we.
Well, I remember because the Game Grumps used to have to say the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
So that trailer came out, and that's probably one of the best trailers ever made.
Yeah, that was the first
crazy.
thing I was there for because I caught up after Season 3 Part 2, but before Season 4. Before we even really had a studio announcement or anything, I caught up that winter, and then obviously a lot of things happened in 2020, and that trailer coming out, it was so hype. It was really hype to see those things animated after reading it.
But yeah, so then the season dropped, and it was obviously very different from the past seasons.
I remember rushing home to get to that first episode.
People were very harsh on the season initially. I think people have become more lenient on it now. I think overall the season looks great. I think it definitely has production issues, probably because they had to make 16 episodes in, I think it was 8 months.
The Titan CGI is a little rough in Season 4 Part 1, but obviously they smooth that out as Season 4 continues. And I think the people are far and beyond better in this season than any of the rest.
There's definitely a change in mentality here. This season is very much more faithful to the manga, and I think even tonally it's way more grounded almost. I really love this season. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. I think it's mostly good though. This is still a very dynamic, high effort adaptation, even if it does have some issues. So
I think you nailed it pretty well. Season 4 Part 1 it's an accomplishment.
The whole thing taken together is probably my favorite season of TV ever.
It's pretty hard to top. All right, well, without further ado, let's get into it.
This video will only be the Marley Arc, so it doesn't take me 6 months to edit.
Yeah, I mean, the art style's immediately so different.
Yeah,
it does it's got bloom.
This is already a crazy visual with the trenches and them getting gunned down by machine guns.
This is such a shift from the last episode.
Yeah, it is. I've never seen someone's reaction who watched the last one and this one back to back.
I read 91
Oh, that would be crazy. Because I think I might have, but I don't even remember my reaction. I think I was just what?
Well, this is an intentionally
Yeah. I was telling you about this a few days ago, but people hated this chapter. This was the lowest rated chapter in the entire manga's history because people were what the... People were just baffled by this. This is adapting 2 chapters. Imagine reading 91 and then just ending there for a month. And then the next month it's just another battle chapter from these. How do you even process
characters
this?
You have no investment in? Even when I started, I was I don't know about this direction.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think this is one of the best things the show does, though.
It does it really well.
Oh, were you going to ask about Falco's line
this
here?
next line here.
Yeah.
What is the point of changing that? Because that's changed from the manga.
When it happened, I remember seeing people say that Isayama requested it as like a meta commentary to like comment on how it is like jarring that they shifted.
Is that
But
it?
well, I've never been able to find a source on that.
Citation needed, guys. Please sound off in the comments.
If anyone knows what we're talking about, actually, I would love to find the origin of the claim that this was some kind of meta statement he requested them to add. But I mean, people use this for theories.
Oh yeah, everyone thought Falco was gonna get Aaron's Titan at the end because it seemed like a future memory type deal.
Watching this episode on the day it came out was one of the craziest parts.
It was that was
every
a
season.
unforgettable day in AOT history, of which there are many. This her recap.
She spells out everything that's going on.
She basically looks directly at the camera to say it.
Yeah, it's awkward exposition, but also if she didn't just explain the situation here, I think it would be even more confusing.
Yeah.
Zofia and Udo die so fast, but when I was reading the manga monthly at this point, and Udo and Zofia were part of the main cast for us for a little bit there. So it is funny how like if you watch the show now, you won't even remember their names.
Yeah.
Oh, the first Ashes on the Fire.
The first of many.
It is a great song though.
How many times do they use this song in the show?
Not really that
people
many.
overblow it. It's because it was in the trailer.
There's so much to talk about here. Like, I love how
setting up that Reiner's about to die.
Skipping 4 years is crazy. Judging based on the chapter discussion threads, one of the main questions people had was like, where do we even go from the end of the last chapter? He gets to the climax of the story basically, or like the climax of the first part, and then he skips it. Then it's like such like an odd choice.
He makes a series of insane storytelling decisions, starting with like I'd say Midnight Sun and just going forward. And I mean, it's easy to now have this artificial distinction between like season 3 part 2 is like the string of insane storytelling decisions, but I mean, this chapter came out a month after the one where they go to the ocean. It's like that was part of his string of like changing the scope several times in a row.
Yeah, so I mean, he's making the choice, first of all, to shift the focus away from the cast. And I've thought about what he was thinking when he did that. And he would have known that about 8 months from now, the reveal that the hobo is Aaron, or we called him the hobo, he would know that there would be payoff and that people would be satisfied. But he also would have known people would have had a violent, visceral reaction to this, that they would immediately hate being taken away from the main cast. And also the 4-year time skip, like we miss like such a pivotal part in the characters.
Yeah, and some
growth.
people still really do not understand what happens during those 4 years because it's so out of order.
It's an insane decision to, number one, just change the entire cast, and number two, skip ahead so many years, and number three, also transition into like very dire, like realistic, grounded war setting where they're like in the trenches. It's crazy. This is my favorite opening of all time.
Of any anime?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, it's so cool. It feels so apocalyptic.
What you just said, yeah. And also, like, I've never seen another opening like this where it's so empty. It does feel like everything's just gone, I guess is the best way to put it. I really love their march there, too. I love how
it's in sync.
The whole thing feels like it's like a death march almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like these images of brutal destruction, and
it's crazy.
The cuts to the flamethrowers in sync with the music.
It suddenly becomes the World War II anime OP. I love the Titan grab with the is that the colossal behind him?
I love these corpses here, and I love how it's just like this
big ass colossal Titan face right there.
It's like this amalgamation of these Titans that have been like sewn together, like that one SpongeBob episode.
I was about to say the SpongeBob episode. I'm sorry, I just peeped the mic. That like disturbed me as a child.
I love how everything's white too. That's another big part of it. And
I love the color bombs.
The rainbow explosions. This part kind of looks like Aaron's
Titan spine.
I don't know if it's intentional though. And then
I love these birds in free fall. They look like they're dying.
Oh, they are, yeah, for sure. I don't know
from like chemical weapon cloud here.
Yeah, and I think like symbolically, the birds are the scouts pretty much, aren't they? Consistently, that's the scout imagery. I love how they're just like they all have the same face. And there are scouts here. Those are scouts getting blown up. You see?
Yeah. Look at their outfits.
The main thing for me is just like
it sets the tone right.
This arc is about the end of the world, pretty much, or it's like the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is very fitting.
It is a great tone setter to have her immediately start off with this like one of the worst war crimes you can possibly do.
Yeah.
This poor child.
It is easy to forget how jarring this is. I mean, they're saying names of characters that we don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see Reiner, and that's like your only grounding.
Yeah.
And he looks completely different.
I love this sudden introduction of these, like, World War II era mechanical weapons.
It's insane. It's such a... I mean, you know the world outside is different, but this is still such a crazy...
Yeah, he made a good choice setting it in this And he calls it the Mid-East region. The setting is immediately different from anything else, too.
Well, there's basically no desert on Parody that you really see at all.
Yeah, except in the OVA. Yeah, so this is another key piece of dialogue here that,
9 years ago.
yeah, their plan to retake the Founder, that's like the sign that Parody's victories had a real consequence on their military.
On the world as a whole. I mean, it's empowering, it's emboldening these Middle Easterners.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's so interesting. I wonder if this war, I wonder if this war didn't go this way, if they would have ever tried diplomacy with Parody. Like, Hizuru reached out during those 4 years.
Yeah.
What the
well,
f- did these guys
Hizuru,
do?
yeah. Hizuru was smart. Of course, they weren't in the end because they got rumbled too. But if
That's-
Aaron
that's-
hadn't,
If
Aaron hadn't been a
yeah.
psychopath,
It's certainly like the world is bad, but it is also an oversimplification to say that they would have had no recourse. It's literally Aaron is the fucking complicating factor that makes it impossible for
yeah.
Parody to have diplomacy.
I love the new soundtrack here too. It differentiates it.
Oh yeah, and this guy like starts quoting like a prayer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the Ode to Joy.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, isn't it?
This is an anime edition. The anime wanted to hammer in what Marley's doing is even more horrible
Yeah.
than the manga did.
Yeah, I remember.
Anime also really focuses on the reactions of these Eldians who are being forced to go to no man's land.
It's horrible.
Gabby's so
Soy.
no.
Cringe.
Her arc is simple, but I think it's good.
There's not a character more hated in this, I think, though.
I can understand the Gabby hate. I mean, she's definitely portrayed initially to be hated.
Oh, on purpose, I think.
Yeah. And I think he could have done more to make her likable later. But also, I think she served her role well enough, so who cares, you know? She's fully, like, not an annoying character at all by Season 4, Part 2.
No, not at all. Why would there be a civilian at this, like, military fort?
I don't think they buy it very... I think she's just counting on them not being complete psychopaths. Isayama did say something in an interview once, I'd like to find it again, where he was saying, with Parody's military, it's like 50-50 male and female. And he was going to do that for Marley's military, but he realized that wasn't a thing in real life with militaries from this time period.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt like it would be misrepresentation to include women in the military.
In Marley's?
Yeah, so if you notice, Gabby and Zofia are like the only girls here, and they're in the warrior program. With that in mind, it makes sense why these guys would assume that she's not a soldier.
She's a good shot.
Yeah, she threw it very far. We forgot to talk about, what's that fat guy's name?
Kozlo.
Yeah. Kozlo's awesome.
It's so bad that her reaction to that was a anime cutesy Yahoo. Jesus Christ, she just blew him up.
Porco's reveal is really cool. I love how his Titan looks. Wow, I wish I could read that. I know it says this is Marley, a military dictatorship, which I thought was cool because nowhere else in the series is it actually addressed as one. How do we feel about the new design for Reiner?
What do you mean? Just that he has
His
double
character
now?
design. No, I think it's awesome. He has one of the best timescape design.
Oh yeah, he finally doesn't look terrible in the show. Yeah,
Yeah. This is horrible.
it is quite visceral.
I love the POV of the machine gun. I like how they're still portrayed as like clearly not the good guys in this. Like Porco's red glowing eyes. And the
Oh
way
yeah,
they're
no, I mean,
mercilessly slaughtering these guys. Peak's armor is awesome too.
looks like Goat.
Looks like what?
Goat.
What?
From Majora's Mask.
Kozlo's such a dick.
He is.
I hate him. I'm glad
He's-
they added his death to the anime. He just disappears in the manga.
Yeah.
This scene is awesome. So they drug these guys. I don't know if
Yes.
it was to make them calmer or it's a side
It's definitely
effect
to
of the spinal
sedate them
fluid.
so that they could tighten them and put them.
But it is.
So that they wouldn't like struggle here.
This is an amazing scene.
That's one of the best shots in the whole series.
This first episode especially is really awesome. You could tell they were like really putting their best foot forward here. Titan's being used as an orbital drop weapon is
It's crazy.
it's such a like an inventive use of the new setting too.
Yeah.
Like he really thought how in practice how would these be used in a real war.
That's crazy. They're so efficient at it.
It is. I mean, this is clearly a war crime.
No, I meant the efficient thing was the cannons that take their nape off
Oh,
with like
yeah.
one shot.
Yeah.
Parody would love that.
Reiner's monologue here is so good. I love
Yeah.
this episode.
I know you do. I love his like early 2000s s goggles.
I love how his flashback there couldn't have happened.
Oh yeah, because
It was the wrong characters there. Reiner's CG looks pretty good.
I was just gonna say people really complained about this and it's not that bad.
They added this too with the second train. Yeah, why did we ever complain about this? This is awesome.
Who's we? I
Well,
never
in
complained about this at
general,
all.
That did you catch that?
Where he runs
Yeah.
through like Walrose.
They use Ashes on the Fire really well.
Yeah. No, they really do, and people complain about it. But it's one of the best OSTs in the series.
It's so cool how he uses it as a shield.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a nightmare for them. They should not have chosen this war.
Yeah, they made a bad choice.
What were they thinking?
Their outfits are so cool. I love the gun on his.
The goggles are so fun.
Yeah.
This CGI is not great.
Okay, yeah. The Beast Titan CGI is the one thing that's like...
Especially that shot. He's shaded weird.
That looks...
Yeah, that does not look good. It looks like a Wind Waker character.
That was one of the coolest manga panels, too, where he says, "Isn't war a terrible thing?"
Still doing this shit. Yeah, his Titan looks fucking terrible.
They improve it later. I do love the evolution of the boulder throwing to become like an artillery toss.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a natural progression of it.
Was he not expecting them to shoot him?
I think he expected his to hit first. Like if you look up on the top of the screen, you can see his CGI model very small.
Right up there.
Throwing, yeah. That's an awesome shot.
Oh, awesome with these English...
Wow, the fucking English words.
It looks horrible.
It does. I love how the ED kicks in here, though. Like
also, this is added, yeah?
This is added. And especially the John reveal here.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so interesting because...
It seemed like they were going to add like a bunch more Scouts and Marley stuff, and this is like the only thing.
It's such a good addition because
you don't even know he's John there yet.
You don't know, but I mean, I think you can kind of get an idea. But, with manga readers, it was 8 months of us being like, when are they going to come back? It gives a feeling that the Scouts are there from the beginning already.
Which is very much needed.
Yeah. God, I love this ED. Not the visuals. I think the song's really good.
I think this is like probably one of my least favorite EDs.
Really?
That's just me, though.
That's one of my favorite episodes. It doesn't rank among the best episodes, but I love it for the reasons we talked about. I love what it does. I love how bold it is and how it's like no one was expecting that. I think if you asked like every person who watched episode 59 like what's next, I think 0% would guess.
Yeah, a scope change like that, you would think that it would be something like Brave Volunteers.
Yeah. It is weird that Brave Volunteers is next chronologically. Yeah, I love everything about that. I think aside from the Beast Titan CG, everything looks great. I love how people have described it as looking like filmic almost. I don't know if that's the right word. It's like muted. It looks much more realistic.
They spend the color of this season is just so different. But anyway, 60. I like it a lot.
What would you put it? I would put it. Well, I want to hear your unbiased opinion.
I would put it myself. I know you really like it, so I'm not gonna push mine at all. I would say A.
I would say S. Yeah, but.
I mean, you love this one. I'm not going to fight you. You spent the last 20, 30, 40 minutes.
If you feel like it's an A, I mean, this is a hard one then. Do you feel strongly about A?
No, you can put it in S.
Because I feel strongly about S. Do you see the angle of it being like what it does for the story?
Yeah, I'm not arguing my case at all. I'm fully conceding to you.
Okay, we'll go with S. Maybe we can talk about it again later.
I don't think there's much to say. You really love this one, and I like it a lot.
Well, if we don't agree, then I don't know if we can just.
Well, all of this has been a sort of like push and pull, and sometimes you have to pull.
I guess you're right. Okay.
Invaders is abusive. Hey, S tier.
This is
Midnight Train.
Yeah. Well. What I was gonna say
in case you don't know,
this is one of the most interestingly directed episodes in the series.
I love how this is directed. I really
the
like
rotoscope director. What if the guy talking right now looks like Mads Mikkelsen?
I wonder if he looks like any actor who might have played Hannibal Lecter, but I don't think Anthony Hopkins is the right one. People kind of miss this conversation too.
This is one of the most important conversations in the whole series.
It really is.
This is literally Zeke manipulating them into
World War One, I guess.
This is foundational. This is Zeke subtly positioning them back into war with Parody, which is their ultimate downfall here. Aaron and Yelena and Flock are in on this too.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what they're saying here, they want to move away from Titans, but Zeke puts the idea in their head to instead double down.
It frames Mads like he's in charge, but he's not. Magath is.
No. He is.
No?
He's the highest ranking here, yeah.
Isn't Magath the general?
No, he gets promoted because this guy dies.
Oh, right.
People say that's foreshadowing, and I agree to an extent, but I think it's more about showing how disconnected these guys are from the war. He
doesn't know. He's not joking. He actually doesn't know.
He thinks he can snap his fingers and just have a flying Titan. And this is cut down from the manga significantly, but they keep the important parts. I like how he calls him the Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
So they're fully going to stop. I mean, I'm sure they'll go after Parody eventually. I think it's inevitable, but
For resources, but
yeah, their plan, the entire top military is like, yeah, we need to move away from Titans, and then Zeke is like, no, actually, and you cannot understate how influential this is.
this dude is very easily swayed.
I think it's more they respect him.
Which is so, yeah, it's so fucking, sorry. It's so ironic. It's weird.
It is the payoff of him playing this act for the past 13 years, or even longer, that he's fully
Basically
sided
since
with
he was
him.
a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
Saw her.
it's the fulfillment of Cassava.
I'm sorry. It's
Cassava.
what we have to say.
What do we call him? Because I just call him Xavier, but I know
Mr. Xavier.
his official name is
It's K-Saver.
Cassava.
Which looks like a off-brand supermarket they'd put in the movie.
Yeah. This is Zeke's ultimate plan here. It's the payoff of I'm not saying Cassava. I'm sorry. Xavier had him set up his parents all those years ago, and he has this respect now from the top guys because they think he's like loyal from day one. So they're done with Parody, which we already talked about. But the really interesting thing is in chapter 132, when Aaron and Yelena, it shows Aaron and Yelena's flashback where they're talking about what the plan is. Yelena tells Aaron their plan is to do all the stuff at the festival. Now we know that chapter takes place before Aaron went to Marley, right? Which means they already knew about the festival. I think it speaks for itself that Zeke knew about a festival that didn't exist yet. Of course, because it's his idea, it's his plan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so weird that this is him creating that opportunity for Aaron.
Yeah. So everything, and I mean, I think this is the biggest thing people miss about the season is the Marley arc is Aaron and Zeke, but mostly Zeke setting up this plan so that he can do his euthanasia. And that starts by convincing Marley to get back into conflict with Parody, which results in the Tiber family coming forward and everything with the festival.
For some reason, getting the Warhammer Titan was essential for Aaron's plan, but
I don't know if it was. I think it was like a side thing.
It was an opportunistic thing. I mean, he probably would have tried to get some of the other ones if he'd...
Yeah, he goes for the jaw next. He fails.
Yeah.
Which also shows he doesn't know everything again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the aspect of it being like Zeke causes this season. I mean, Aaron does too. But it's just so overlooked. It's so interesting.
I think it's easy to overlook. And again, this is my big... I love this season, but this is my big problem with it, is that it's easy to overlook because it's told like a puzzle.
This is awesome.
I wonder if he's got any secret techniques. Yeah, this is such a great... I love the rotoscoping in this episode.
If they were going to do rotoscoping for one episode, I agree this is probably the best one to do it with because it's
a connector.
Yeah, it's very cinematic in its presentation.
That is
but
so
like,
cool. I love that.
They could have done it later, but I think this episode specifically with all the different scenes and like how they're still in the Mideast, I think it works really well.
I forgot that scene was in the Mideast where I forgot that they were in like an abandoned, blown up building.
Yeah.
Having that talk until I saw the roof.
Yeah, you can see the ships behind them that Zeke destroyed.
Oh yeah, you can. I didn't even know that.
Zeke's ass wiping technique. Everything he says has like a double meaning here. Like he's talking about his euthanasia plan. That's what he means by his ass wiping plan. They cut out the panel of Armin's Titan here, which is like the first time they show it, and it's not the right design, but it looks very ghoulish. I love how they're talking about the main cast here as if they're like this far away thing.
Yeah.
As viewers, we don't know either what happened during those years. This is confirmation of Ymir's death.
Yeah.
It is sad. She looks so miserable.
We might finally get to see how Marcel dies.
Maybe we'll get to see it rotoscoped.
Hello, beautiful.
How do you feel about Peak?
As an actual character?
In general.
I don't really care about her as a character at all.
I don't either. It's weird how out of all these characters here who don't have that much substance, she somehow lives to the end. It's probably just a fan service thing more than anything that she survives.
Mm-hmm.
She has some fun moments too. This is kind of a similar scene to the training scene from the training arc in season 1, where Aaron and Connie, I think, are talking about the recruits who had to go home. There's definitely intentional parallels between this group of kids and the other that we knew.
Reiner touched all of their heads.
Except Falco.
Because he doesn't want to get attached to him because he wants him to die.
I like Reiner's dynamic with the kids. This is a beautiful episode.
It is a really good episode.
There's Aaron.
There's Zeke.
What?
I was
Are
just
you quoting that?
Yeah.
That's like a triple layer meta reference.
That's like one of our first lines in this whole series.
Yeah, but we said it again in the OVA last time.
Really?
Yup. This part really cements Reiner as like a really good character too, because he's good before, but I think his journey here, his survivor's guilt and his
It's much more subtle.
yeah, it's really well written. I wish there was even more focus on Reiner after this arc.
I
'Cause
wish that we had some of this beforehand too, instead of like split personality.
Oh yeah, yeah. The writing here is a significant improvement. His grief and his like regret over what he did, I think it's very well done. These guys are so evil.
When am I gonna let them celebrate?
The way they have these Eldians boxed in here, like they have them in these like farm cars almost, and you see the military guys are in like the fancy one. They have all the Eldians crowded into one in like these really horrible conditions.
It's a livestock complacency.
You quoting the lyrics?
Yes.
What a weird reference. That feels really inappropriate to say here. The treatment of aliens, they do a really good job of showing, like, even subtly at times. No character here is like, man, it sucks how they have us in this crowded train car, you know? It's just, like, shown.
The war crimes of Marley. Can you even say war crime? This is such a nightmare.
Say,
The
just say the crimes.
the problematic things of
No, just say crimes.
the unaliving of
No,
Marley.
just say the crimes. Just say crimes.
The crimes of Marley are so much more visceral and real than than those of Parody, because there's such an impersonality, because Marley's much more advanced, and there's this I could draw a lot of real world conclusions to this, like in history and all that, but in general it feels so much more evil and so much worse because there's such an impersonality with like factory line precision, factory line. I mean, they're very post-industrial.
Yeah,
Parody.
they treat the Eldians like ammunition, basically.
It's you
were going to talk about this line.
Well, I don't know if I had anything specific to say about it, but I always thought this was like a standout.
Reiner understands
I
how
felt like not propagandized.
he also understands how evil what Marley's doing is. He's able to tell that to Falco without actually saying it. In the anime, doesn't capture this quite as much as the manga because of the length of time that arc went on. This is such like a hopeless situation too. There's no way for them to get out of this horrible child abuse cycle here.
Marley's so bad, dude. I mean, he's only saving Gabby 13 more years.
What do you mean?
It's probably inevitably going to come down to her after. I mean, who knows what the next generation has in store? But after Falco,
well, she might age out of it.
I mean, Colt's pretty old.
Zeke's relationship with them is weird because he does care about them, but he knows he's gonna screw them over completely.
Oh, I thought you meant like his dynamic, where he's like kind of like weird uncle.
It's just weird seeing him interact with them because he fully plans on betraying them. But
it is weird.
He's portrayed as like one of the group, you know.
There is like such a community in this scene, and you really feel bad for them.
Falco really does have like a different level of emotional intelligence than other characters.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the people who watch this and really can't sympathize with the Marleyans at all they still like Falco.
I think most people like Falco. I wonder if his personality was also inspired by Jesse Pinkman, or if it was just his.
I don't think so very much. He probably would have been a little more abrasive.
I think Jesse also has a kind of like emotional intelligence.
Yeah, he does.
That's her sick dad.
This scene is good.
Notice we haven't shit on like anything this season so far.
It's actually really good.
Even his like really subtle, where he says no, not yet, because he knows his plan's about to come to fruition. And also just the fact this is Grisha's parents again, and they have a relationship with him. Like, it's so layered, it's so nuanced.
This is just so touching with the OST. Even though you just watch these people do horrible things, they're so trapped in it. This is like such a nice moment of respite.
I was wondering who the fuck are these other people?
Child? Who is the freckled boy?
It's his mom, her sister maybe, and maybe his uncle and his cousin.
But then is that Gabby's brother? Why is he not a warrior?
Wait, yeah, what?
Why did he get out? Was he just too? Did he look too like simple? Is he too simple? Is he too London chimney sweeper coded? Oh, there's Aaron and there's Coslow.
The Aaron scenes are also.
I love the way he falls to the ground here in a second.
This Aaron is.
Like, he's such a psychopath here.
I love how he's just like in the background. It feels very sinister in retrospect because remember,
really
like
sinister. He's about to fucking destroy the world. He's about to kill everyone here.
He's about to do horrible things to these really.
This is him learning that across the sea everyone's the same.
Yeah, he's learning that right now, and
He's probably actively disappointed right now because this is like in a way his last ditch effort to like try to justify what he's about to do.
yeah.
And he's like, oh, they're kind of normal.
I like how the armband was on the wrong arm. Like
Yeah, you would not think about this or notice that it was Aaron at all without knowing.
well, the thing is, we thought it was Aaron, which is so interesting.
I mean, yeah, when I say you, I don't mean the manga readers who pore over everything for a month.
I love this, like, it's like a film grain over this scene. It's like the rain creates a film grain.
Yeah. Do you think she even believes this?
I think
She
she's
probably-
coping.
Yeah, she probably does with Rainer's dad.
She probably like feels like she has to believe it, otherwise her
Mm-hmm.
rationale falls apart. This is a classic scene.
This is so great.
They make some interesting choices with this adaptation where they cut
don't
out.
make him smile.
Yeah, Reiner does laugh at them, insinuating that his friends were evil.
That
in the
Sasha was
manga.
a demon.
Yeah, but more than that, it flashes to portraits of the characters in the manga when he talks about each one. But they
Yeah.
chose to keep it on Reiner's face the whole time here, which
Yeah.
definitely lends itself well to the aesthetic they're going for here.
Yeah, I like it this way a lot better.
It always bothered me that she gives Shadis less than half, and it made me so happy that it was brought up like as an actual thing.
It's so funny he gives the most silly example too.
Yeah,
She's freaked out because he was humanizing them there.
yeah, for sure.
Because he's talking about how they're really selfless people.
I can't tell to what extent Reiner knows it's. I mean, Reiner does know it's all a lie,
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
but I can't tell if he's like messing with them here. And the smile in the manga made me think that he was.
I
playing it up on
still think he
purpose.
is. I think he's entertaining himself almost and like keeping. He's like doing what he did with Falco. He's keeping up the weird illusion. He's like keeping up the illusion while lying through his teeth.
Yeah, that's a good take.
There's cousin Freckle.
This was confusing.
That was
Remember
Freckle. He
that?
just killed himself.
This is a beautiful shot, by the way.
That was
Look
just
at-
a random
look at
soldier,
this
right?
shot.
Wow, it is. It's like a impressionist painting.
Yeah. This person who jumps off here, this is not in the manga, and I thought it was
You and everyone thought. A bunch of people thought this was Reiner. I didn't at all.
I thought Reiner in the middle of the night jumped off the roof, and then he just like killed himself. But no, because they explain in the next scene. But that's a weird addition. I guess is it just trying to show like how affected the Eldians are?
Well, yeah, I think that might have been the one that Falco's helping up.
I forgot how good this season looked.
Oh, it looks perfect. I mean, I'm telling you, everything besides the action is objectively better in this season.
They rearranged this really cleverly too, because this in the manga this is way later, and this sets up the festival.
Mm.
So here the festival is this kind of like looming thing for a few episodes. In this scene here, we see Zeke directly setting up the festival, which it's even his idea to have the Tiber family do it.
I wonder if he specifically suggested that because he thought the Warhammer was.
He could have seen it was a threat, yeah.
Yeah, he'd never seen the Warhammer before, and I mean,
You're saying he wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible?
yeah, take out that possible
Yeah.
complication.
For some reason that became a meme. He references it again later, so I think he knew.
Oh yeah, he does. It's weird that they have the room tabbed.
Yeah, it seems like, I guess they're just like always listening.
I guess so. They keep showing the phonograph
Yeah.
because assumedly that's what the bug is.
What a great shot.
That looks way better than the manga panel for you.
That was the full ED. Yeah, this ED has reused animation from the first episode too. Like this shot is fully reused. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's-
it is. But there's a bird over it in the anime that wasn't there in
Mhm.
the ED version.
Reiner doesn't look too good there.
Yeah. I don't know. The song just doesn't do it for me. And I don't care for these visuals that much.
Yeah, I like that though.
That's
I
cool.
like how she's there for like 2 frames. We don't have to watch these, but I love the version of Ashes on the Fire here in the previews. It's like the alarms going off. You know?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Maybe that's part of why people feel like it's used too much.
Maybe I don't think anyone watches those except me. What do you think? I think that's a great one.
I really like that episode. I've liked that a lot since the beginning. I'd say solid A.
I think I might agree. That's shocking to me because in my memory this would have been like a high C or a B.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I knew this was a great one for the whole time.
My opinion what the my opinion of this season has definitely been poisoned by discourse of it. I think for sure. It looks a lot worse in my memory than it actually does.
This is a healing experience really. We're it's funny that we haven't even made fun of this basically so far because it's actually Mappa doesn't have these little like weird goofy aspect. Like Wit had all these like Sausage Brigand
yeah.
or like just little goofy moments or like background things that looked really silly and that we could hone in on, but I can't tell if it's because there's source, like the material demands our attention so much more, or if Mappa just doesn't have those like little silly things.
I
But
think it's a combination of a few things. I mean, I think RTS didn't have them that much either.
no, that's true.
I think it's a combination of the writing improving. I think it's also the visual style not lending itself to silly moments as much. Oh yeah, the the only funny thing is Reiner's family who spawned in.
Yeah, who the fuck is Freckle?
This is a great episode.
I've always thought this was a great episode. I've always really liked this one. A.
I feel more towards B, but
I feel pretty strong A there, honestly.
I see it, so I'd go A.
I think the rotoscoping, it's just so unique. I think it's in the top 10 most visually unique AOT episodes for sure. It's beautifully shot. I mean, there's so many great visuals.
It's so important too. This is a very
I honestly I really
episode.
love this episode. I like this more than 60, frankly, but
I think you've convinced me that it's an A.
I love the tearful reunion of like everyone there, the Gabby on the train. It's got a lot of really humanizing moments for these people in this horrible empire. A tier.
Okay, I agree. A. How do you feel about the Door of Hope?
I like this episode, but I just like the source material a lot, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think this episode, for some reason, they paced every other episode correctly, but for this one, for some reason, they tried to cram in 3 chapters or maybe 3.5 chapters.
They cut a lot too.
Yeah, they did. I think the real problem with this one is the time jumps because you never settle in. It is like it's a lot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it doesn't really give you time to settle where we are in time. I love that he's bigger than his bed.
Yeah, that is a good detail. I think I maybe said this in the last recording, but my parents were confused watching this.
Yeah.
So I think maybe a lot of people probably can't keep up with this just because there's so much info.
I kind of like it as a rapid fire. Yeah, it is a lot of info. I kind of like how rapid fire it is, though.
But it wasn't meant to be rapid fire. The content
Yeah.
is still good.
It kind of works because it's like he's remembering it that way, but yeah, it's definitely not intentional.
Interesting choice of Ashes on the Fire here.
Yeah, this is a really odd use of this. This is probably like the use of that song that made everyone make fun of it the most.
I like how at this point his like go-to response is to report him for treason. Because I think he still believes it at this point.
Oh yeah, totally. He's like Gabby at this point almost. He's very earnest without being good.
Young Zeke with the group there is interesting too. It's one of the few times we see that. Oh, and he's in the background stomping a bug to death.
That's a reference to Petra.
What do you think about Annie crushing that bug? Because I mean, a lot of people and myself thought it was trying to show how she had like a sociopathic disorder.
I think it proves that she should be killed.
Yeah, it proves Levi should have gone rage mode on her when
Yeah.
he saw her again.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They retconned him in season 1.
It's more just showing how she doesn't value life, I think, right?
Yeah.
This is a cool shot how they're like on both sides of the wall. Oh, and that's right before Aaron finds the book that changes his life too.
His wish was granted by Armin.
This part is very interesting.
I like this sequence.
Yeah, it is. It's nothing like this in the manga. They made it in almost like a Suicide Squad introduction scene.
You probably can't say that movie's name.
I think you probably can.
I don't know. It's like Unalive Squad.
I love the infographics they have and like the documents showing the Titans.
No, I really like this sequence.
It's weird they knew they'd need the female Titan model later, but they still didn't make it here. So she's 2D. Oh, and Marcel's Titan is too.
Oh, yeah. I'm not looking forward to seeing this guy again. For some reason, he looks a lot less real. It's so weird that they would like say his blood seems to have hidden power, but they wouldn't pursue that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess how could they?
Is that even like a canon thing that they say that? How do they know that Zeke's blood has hidden power?
That's a good question. I don't know because I mean somehow they would have found out he could do the screaming thing. How could they possibly have found that out? I guess the answer is don't think about it too hard.
I feel like it doesn't really make sense for them to say that. That's her most iconic character trait, her superior judgment. Are they testing this on a model city or were they in war at this point?
Oh no, that was a real war. That's such a cool scene.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of my favorite manga panels too.
A god of destruction.
I think this is the only time they acknowledge why they're using child soldiers or how absurd it is. They don't really dwell on it too much. I think, yeah, I mean, they don't really say why they're using child soldiers. I think the implication is that they're easier to indoctrinate. But I think the real reason is probably Aciyama wasn't really thinking of the logistics of a 10-year-old being the one to destroy the wall. And
Back then?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it makes enough sense.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny.
This scene got shafted. It feels like he just like left the parade and like went to where his dad was.
I don't understand this because this episode is very, very rushed. and they didn't rewrite it to fix the pacing problems. Like at least with Uprising, at least what I'd say the first episode of that season is paced really well.
Mm-hmm.
They like rewrote that in a smart way. With this one, they really did just compress it,
Yeah.
and I don't get why. Did they?
It's a bad thing to compress.
Did they just? I mean, out of everything this season, I guess they felt like this would have to. It was their sacrifice to fit everything else in, I guess.
I don't think they did it horribly.
They kept the ED and the OP. Like
Yeah, they
why?
could have done more with this.
That extra 3 minutes would have helped us so much.
Yeah. I don't understand this. I didn't back then. I still don't. And then the Game of Thrones cast will see us.
Is that where they show up?
Yeah, you don't remember that? They're the ones that forced Bertolt to break the wall.
Right.
Yeah. See, at this point, this is a little fast because you hardly got
Yeah.
any. You got like one tiny little sequence of
Yeah, because
him and Porco having a rivalry. Did he die literally like 10 seconds after saying that?
I think it just makes it seem like that, but I don't think he actually did because it's daytime now.
I like that he got the answer to why Marcel would be apologizing.
How so?
Because he realizes that it's fucking horrible what they're doing right now and like
Oh, yeah.
the cycle that he's suddenly in. That's one of the funniest deliveries in the show.
They got unlucky that Ymir woke up so fast and then immediately started running in the opposite direction.
Yeah, she got like perfect Titan RNG. Do you think he's probably right here, yeah?
That they'd all get eaten?
I don't think Marley values these ones that much.
I wonder, because they probably put a lot of money into training these guys. They probably wouldn't want to just waste that.
I wonder if they ran back and Marley would be like, okay, this isn't working. We need to try a different approach. Why'd they retain Peak?
What do you mean?
Why didn't they send her?
They probably figured 4 was enough. I mean, it's like overkill if you think about it. Plus, they needed some for their own wars.
It feels very weird that for those basic espionage, like they were just supposed to sneak in.
Yeah.
It's weird that they would send the atomic bomb one for this espionage mission.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some little details that show.
Yeah.
He did have to work within the constraints of what he wrote.
Yeah.
Like 8 years prior.
Yeah, he definitely did. No, I don't blame you, Sam, at all. It's just funny logistically in universe. And they cut out the scene where they're being chased and do this out of panic.
Yeah, but they kept the Dinah thing, which is how we knew it would be important for the manga ending.
Yep. I'm sad they cut that sequence because I think that's such a great characterization thing.
Yeah. This whole sequence in general just got really screwed over.
Yeah, this got the most screwed of anything.
It's
Is
funny.
this season 1 dialogue or animation here?
You can't tell.
I was
Yeah,
really
it just completely is. I think they did a smart decision reusing that so they wouldn't have to waste animators' time on something we've already seen.
I love. Oh my god, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that he's completely CGI. No
Yeah.
wonder. I love that to get his like internal monologue as he's breaking
I
the
wanna see what
wall
he's
like
saying
that. Like this reframes the season 1 scene so much.
Should we go? We have to go look what it says in the manga.
They got Pencil Kid.
Wouldn't these panels be better if Ashes on the Fire was playing over them?
Yeah, this is such a weird scene to read and be like, yeah, we should put like intense music over this.
So he sees his dad at the parade, and then like maybe the next day,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe a few hours later, he goes to him. Oh, it's arriving at the island is also cut.
So she screams.
Well, they're riding her, which is an interesting detail because
Mhm.
we know. I mean, it's a nice callback to Female
Yeah.
Titan Arc. Oh, this is cut.
Oh my god,
The Titans riding him.
Littlefinger's on Reiner.
Who's this?
Holy shit. Yeah, wait, that looks like a definite like reference. Maybe it's Renly. Is that Varys? Reiner killed Varys. Well, it's not as bad as we thought, but it just maybe doesn't work as well when it's all close together like
Yeah,
this.
I mean, the problem isn't the individual cuts. It's that they crammed over 3 chapters of stuff into one episode, which is
Mhm.
double the pace of what they usually do.
He became 3D in that one moment. Everyone witnessing it was so confused.
Recently, I saw a post from someone who was mad about this. Do you remember why?
No.
Because in season 1, episode 3, Shadis doesn't interrogate Reiner. Because
Oh, right.
He's one of the people who saw
That
hell.
actually is a plot hole.
Yeah.
That actually is like incorrect.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe Reiner remembers it wrong.
But, well, some guy, I mean, this guy was using it as proof that Isayama was like a hack writer.
Well, that's
which
a
is
little
hilarious.
silly. They all peed themselves in this pic. It's very convenient that Eren, Armin, and Mikasa did not. It's good for the warriors that they didn't remember them being in the refugees of Shiganshina, like 10 feet away from them.
That shot right there is interesting because it is a reused witch shot, but it's slightly different, which kind of shows that Wit was working with them and like gave them old production materials.
This feels so random.
It does. Yeah, this is really jarring. But it is the last Kenny scene. It almost feels like a clip show or like a
Yeah. And it's funny, he knows it. We know it can't be him because he doesn't really patron.
yeah, and also I don't even think she expected him to buy that though.
It'll be late for muster.
That's the only time they show Bertolt's leg thing that they always talk about.
Do you think that's before they pass muster?
Are you talking about the line he said at the end of the episode?
The fuck does muster mean?
I would say it's likely post muster.
But we know.
Well, muster was in the first week, so unless they immediately were doing stuff, I really doubt that.
I like that the existence of Kenny is a problem for Annie's plan.
Yeah,
Or their
it is
plan.
fun.
Yeah. His giant neck.
Oh, this is definitely post muster.
Is this the same day as Bertolt sleeping?
Probably.
She did not need to say that.
They hate him because he ruined everything for them. Everything. It probably would have gone right if Marcel hadn't died.
Does Bertolt hate him too?
He seems to not think that highly of him.
He doesn't seem to like him very much.
Yeah.
It's really funny because Reiner's like, "Let's get together, friend," or like, "Let's make it back."
I always like seeing season 1 stuff in map art style.
Mm-hmm. Is that sweat or is he crying?
I think he's crying.
What a pussy.
This is a great sequence.
This definitely is gonna need the content titan.
I love the way he like gives Aaron the push he needs here, which is his own undoing.
The world, this is everyone's undoing.
This is one of my favorite sequences in the whole manga. And the anime definitely lost its effect. The 3 chapters of Reiner backstory build up, culminating in him putting a gun in his mouth. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's such a... There's no other imagery like this up to this point in AOT. Like, it got way more real. And especially how it's contrasted with him, like, remembering... I mean, it's complicated, right? But he's encouraging Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost contrasting him doing that with him, his guilt, you know?
It's also the perfect setup for what's about to happen.
What do you mean?
Declaration of war. We were just kids. We didn't know a thing.
And this is interesting. They cut reacting to Aaron having the Titan and reacting to or killing Sonny and Bean here.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yes. That sucks that they cut that.
Yeah. That is finally a nice like catharsis after so long. But I mean, I think it doesn't really make sense why they'd kill Sonny and Bean. It's way too high of a risk. They'd have little to gain from that. And again, I feel like when Nisiyama wrote that, he probably hadn't figured out exactly what the situation was for them. I imagine he probably thought he wanted the mystery of the Titans to be something that the people outside the walls were trying to hide more than it actually ended up being.
Yeah. Falco saved his life there.
And then this scene at the end of that is
End of
crazy.
that chapter.
At the end of how rushed this episode was, having this on the end is...
At least they did they gave this its space.
Oh yeah. This is amazing. Everyone loses their mind at this scene too. I lost my mind at this too because I did start with 96 because I was there when this was revealed it was Aaron. It was crazy.
Yeah.
At this point you can't even conceive of what happened to him to make him look like that.
Yeah.
He's not even recognizable.
Yeah, it's not until they show the eye really. Unless it, like, a lot of people don't recognize the voice actor immediately.
I mean it's such a huge character design change.
Yeah.
And his speech here is so much more interesting in retrospect, knowing that he's the villain here. He's talking about his will to destroy the world.
So this episode's kind of a mess.
It's definitely a mess, but I think
It's good.
If we compare it to Uprising episodes that are also a mess, like Pain, which has good content, but I think the Door of Hope's content is way stronger.
It's more compelling. I agree. I think it's probably a solid B.
Yeah, it's. I was gonna say it's definitely better than the rushed Uprising ones.
It'd be hard to ruin that content, you know.
I wonder if they had split this one into 2, if it had been properly paced with the Reiner bullet scene and the Aaron reveal. I think that could have been an A, honestly, if it was like really focused on that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, altogether, it's definitely a very rushed B. Oh,
I love the content. Such great stuff. It's just like it doesn't really have room to breathe.
It's the first B in a while.
It's like when the teacher goes, "I'll wait."
That's a desperate teacher's move. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you've experienced it before though, yeah.
Yeah, and I regret to say I've
Fueled it.
No, but I've been gleeful at rebelling against the world. I like being a small part of that.
What?
Like I don't know, like when people are like, pissing the teacher off, and then like you're not involved, but it's still like, you know,
What, like how, like that people are pissing off the teacher?
yeah, just
You-
like a little bit, you know.
You regret having glee that the teacher is annoyed?
No, I feel bad for teachers in retrospect because they have the worst job on the planet.
They really do. Some of those times are so funny though.
It was my 6th grade science teacher. She was the worst teacher ever because she could not control the class. In the previous year, for some reason, they kept her. The previous year before we got there, she had thrown a textbook at a student who pissed her off. During the year, she could not control the class at all. Like, it was so bad. We didn't do anything in there. And about 2/3 into the school year, and she just left. But it was really weird because then the next year, the teacher didn't come back. But then the year after, she came back with a different name and teaching a different subject.
Oh my
It
god.
was really bizarre.
She went to witness protection.
She was showing us the Gandhi movie, and Gandhi died, and the whole class laughed.
Why'd you guys laugh at Gandhi dying?
Because it's hilarious. Have you not seen the clip?
No.
Oh, God.
Oh god. Why did he say it like that? He said it like he'd been mildly inconvenienced. Earnest music as he aids a terrorist in planning his future attack. And Mr. Kruger is as the name is like there to quash any doubt that the viewer might have had of it being Aaron.
It's so evil he uses Falco for this.
It is. So it's that he can send it out as an honorary Marleyan
Yeah, exactly. So he really did seek Falco out because he knew Falco would be able to.
to do this letter thing for him.
Yeah.
He literally recruited this child for the single task.
Yeah. I mean, it's not clear if he knows that Falco survives, but under normal circumstances, he would have killed Falco when he transformed onto the stage. At the time, people were like really coping. They're like, no, Aaron knew that Reiner would save him, which, I mean, that might be true from the future memories, but I also think Aaron would have done it regardless.
I agree. So that was literally Aaron sending them, "Hey guys, I'm still alive. Come get me because you can't do anything else."
He left it in the initial letter, so this one must be follow-ups, like more specifics of where to position themselves.
So has Falcon been doing this multiple times for him?
I think so, yeah. I guess this might be a good time to touch on Marley's system of government and how it makes no logical sense. Marley's a military dictatorship, but like their ruling structure makes no sense. The Tiber family has power, but also they're like secret, but also the government seems to operate entirely independent of them, and also it seems like it's like a top group of guys. Like, what is going on? And someone analyzed it years ago and like could not conclude what system of government they're in because there's so many contradictions, which is funny. Isayama did not care about the world building of the outside world, I guess because he knew it would be destroyed immediately. I think Isayama put almost no thought into Marley's power structure, except he wanted a cool reveal that it was actually like the Warhammer Titan people who were in charge. Like, I think that's as far as he thought about it.
Yeah, I think you want it as a cool reveal. It's also fun that this is sort of like a game of Among Us, like immediately.
Oh,
with, like,
yeah.
who in this picture has the Titan?
潜水の巨人はこの中に
Come on. The subtitler knew what they were doing with that.
I don't understand the Helos thing. People wanted there to be like the new Helos. They wanted like a symbolic new Helos to save the world.
They wanted this to be a big thing.
Yeah, they said Reiner's Helos. Wait, no, Falco's Helos. Magath's Helos.
No one really is.
Uh,
That's the problem.
Aaron is Helos.
Well,
People wanted Helos to become like a
I think the
symbolic
thing is that the whole series is against these ideas that there's like one great person who can save the world in like this capacity. I think like this is like the antithesis of Pixis's
Yeah,
conversation, which is sort of like a thesis in the series.
What would that even entail?
Yeah, I think the whole point here is that Marley's like hero worship thing is not going well, not realistic, not good.
Maybe you could argue Armin is a symbolic hero in a way.
I would say, yeah, if anyone is the new Helos, it would be him, and Isayama is intentionally making him as far from the Helos of legend as possible. I like how truly the spirit of Marley, like he even said it, it's literally an empty myth. It's fiction.
How does Magath know that Willie is the secret ruler of Marley? Thank God they cut this.
Hello, beautiful. I feel like the wall is usually drawn at a different scale.
This one looks right to me because this seems like the right amount of distance it would take for them to not be able to reach the ocean easily.
Mm-hmm.
This seems more like a reasonable size to me.
Yeah, but I also don't think 1,000,000 Titans could fit in this.
I love this shot from underneath.
It is cool.
It's a very like dynamic adaptation all around.
Mappa did so well.
I love this guy not giving a shit what Reiner's saying.
He doesn't even process what he's saying. He beat her in that invisible finish line, which was right where he surpassed her.
They do a good job of humanizing the district for what's about to happen.
Nope, everyone in this world is unredeemable, unfortunately. That's the point of the series.
Yeah. Even if the entire world was evil, there's zero justification for destroying this internment zone.
Yeah. What I wouldn't do for a taste of that purple basket.
I was thinking more of one of the wieners myself. This is new. They added this guy here.
This was in the manga?
You can tell this wasn't in the manga because it's very silly. Look how they're animated.
Look at that guy. With his sideburns.
What? He's so long.
It's like Han Solo with his head stretched out. I like Sophia. It's a shame she gets horribly killed.
This is an interesting conversation. They're speaking in code here, and he's talking about the government because they're already planning to. They're anticipating an attack, and they're using it to their advantage to wipe the slate clean.
What would they do post slate cleaning?
That's the other thing that doesn't make sense. Is like Willie's in charge. Why can he not just do it himself? So it seems like his power is limited. But they were saying that the idea is to get rid of all these like complacent guys. And they showed in the last episode where all of Marley's top guys are incompetent. Like, they don't even know if there's a flying titan. Magath is definitely not a good person, but his intentions are probably better than most.
He's more competent.
Yeah, I think the idea is just to get rid of all these, like, bureaucratic guys who've been there for too long.
They're taking Calvi out in the confusion of the attack, probably.
They're taking everyone out. They gather everyone on these stands for Eren to jump on them.
Yeah, but he's kind of using Willie. He kind of knows he's using Willie as a sacrificial lamb, too.
Yeah, but Willie's also intending to do that. Willie wants to be a martyr. They know about the scouts being here too. I mean, yeah, the whole plan here relies on them knowing an attack is coming.
How can they anticipate that?
My theory was that Kiyomi was like a double agent and she was also helping them because you see her guys going around a lot. But yeah, we don't know how they know. Zeke's baseball glove. There were so many little tells. Zeke was working with Eren.
Crazy scene right here.
I couldn't even tell you what the point of this scene is. What is Eren thinking here? Because Eren doesn't react very much. He's very stone-faced throughout it. I don't think he thinks highly of his grandfather.
No, he definitely doesn't. He's only seen it through his dad's eyes, and his dad definitely was not a huge fan.
He seems to actively dislike him, honestly. He seems annoyed by him. I like the hospital staff noticing and being like, oh shit.
Oh god, no, they let Jaeger talk again. Eren is egging him on here.
That's what it seems like. It seems like Eren is deliberately causing him mental distress.
Yes. He wants him to break down. He's practicing for Reiner.
Looks like the scream there. That's intentional, right? Eren does not react at all. He does not care.
He got the reaction he wanted.
That's what it seems like, but I've debated on that for a long time. Like,
why Eren did that?
Yeah, was it malicious? Would you just want to see what would
I
happen?
actually wonder if he was trying to like rehearse how he would talk to Reiner there a little. Seeing what confronting someone with guilt like that, like seeing how he felt or how they would feel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have to be warriors and they have to be like butlers. There's no one else they could find.
Clearly, they were the Marley and staff should not have recruited these children for this job too because they're very unpopular. So Gwenno.
Oh, Gwenno. The Gwenno memes because Gwenno's cruel knee is what brains Udo. I was recently watching a Corridor crew video, the guys who make the CGI reviews. They were doing like, what would the rumbling be like in real life? And they showed, there's like, here's this world map. And it was from a Reddit post from 5 years ago. And I know that because one of the countries was labeled Ogwenia. And I fucking lost it.
It's so funny that people think that, like think about the reading where Eren didn't, coordinate the world into attacking parity. People reject your statement that Eren and Zeke orchestrated all of this to create this all-out war so that Eren and Zeke could do their thing more effectively. But suppose that isn't true, and Eren is just the most incompetent person of all time for doing this at this time here. These people basically are at each other's throats, and he's creating like the single circumstance which would make them stop infighting and give Marley the absolute advantage. And he would have to be the world's biggest moron, because by all means, if he wants the survival of parity, what he needs to do is not the stupid like killing everyone. If Eren really wanted the survival of parity above all else, his obvious next move would be to stoke the hatred or like reach out to them. I mean, yeah, the Middle East are intolerant of Eldians, but they hate Marley probably immensely more at this time.
Who is this guy? Why is he speaking? They were so glad he got rid of that guy.
Yeah.
It's like the SpongeBob meme with the
Yeah, the hands. I guess the biggest flaw to that, what I just said, is that for some reason everyone loves Willie a really cartoonish amount.
I think it's more showing how he made connections with all these people,
Yeah.
like in his youth, because he
Yeah.
knows them from his childhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. The music is diegetic here.
What do you mean?
The characters hear it too, which is very rare for a show.
Oh,
I think it's the
didn't know
only
that.
time.
I didn't know what that word meant.
Weird parallel to Mikasa putting bread in Aaron's mouth, but it's framed exactly the same.
What if
Is
they
it-
could inexplicably hear the ED playing right now?
This is the best use of the CD.
What a great statement, Gabby.
I really like that ending. It feels very ominous. It's funny how he's trying to surprise him with this. Oh, and Zeke being like, "Yeah, go do that." Like it's such a little tell.
Does that mean that Aaron told Zeke he was gonna grab Reiner? Because yeah, he probably told Zeke he was gonna incapacitate Reiner here.
It wouldn't have worked for the actual scene for reasons we'll talk about, but you see Big Girl a little like
Place
what would
here.
you call this, like motif here is really
This
great.
is from the song.
That's got to be an intentional callback. I think that's a really good one.
I like that one a lot.
I think it's solid. It's great pacing. It feels really ominous. It does a good job of building up to the horrible thing that's about to happen. It definitely is like the calm before the storm, and I think people watching can feel that it's about to go downhill.
I mean, Gabby basically says to the audience, "It feels like something's about to happen."
Yeah, I'd say B though.
I agree. I was gonna say I don't think it's as good as any of the A ones. I think it's
Yeah.
really good though.
Yeah.
That's one of the better Bs.
You remember when this episode came out and Declaration of War was trending on Twitter and people were worried it was like World War
yeah.
III?
Yeah, that was classic. This is such a great intro scene.
Oh, with like the callback.
Putting
to
this before the intro.
I love how it leads up into the old man and how he's a parallel to Reiner.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I also like how it's coming from Bertold, who's long since dead, and like Reiner feels guilt for that too.
So are you'd say the old man is more Reiner here than Aaron?
Yeah, Reiner. Well, Reiner wants to be judged by Aaron. I think that's like the most relevant takeaway. I think Aaron wants to be judged, but not yet. You know, he hasn't done his thing yet.
That's yeah, because I was gonna say Aaron definitely does want to be judged, but then he was pretty much entirely in self-defense until this moment.
Yeah, well,
Like literally this moment. But that's almost the thing, is that this is the moment that Aaron, like, there's no turning back for him. So I think this is, for me, it's like Aaron's preemptively that old guy because he's about to do something that needs judgment, and he's
and the Ramsey scene has already happened where he apologized to him.
yeah. So I think that old man's really parallel to both of them.
Yeah. So she knows Willie, and like all the officials do, but the weird thing is what she says to him here. She's the only one who, besides him and Magath, seems aware of the incoming attack. Now, obviously, she's also working with Parody, so it almost seems like she's playing both sides here. She's telling him how brave he is. There's multiple scenes in Marley where there's what looks to be her guys in the background.
Maybe he intended a double cross on her, but it was too much plot.
Yeah, maybe.
Lucky them.
He picked a really evil spot to do
He
this.
did. That's the thing. He was like maximizing suffering here.
You could say he's using it as collateral, but he
Mhm.
already knows what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
It's he like knowingly went out of his way to kill as many people as possible. Is what it feels like.
I mean, yeah, that's what happened.
It's just like he doesn't care about them. I think
He's
I don't think he's actually targeting those
he's
random people.
well, it's maybe more merciful this way than it would be in the Rumbling, where they have like hours of impending doom.
Oh, he looks just like he did in season 1.
POV, your Squilliam.
Oh, that was Yelena.
Yeah, with her little. People thought it was Armin when the manga was coming out.
Oh no, you're misremembering. People thought it was Connie. I thought it was Connie. We won't go line by line here, but it is interesting how he's like testing him. I think he thinks that Reiner has more understanding than he does, because he's saying he's like already admitting to his guilt there by saying he did the same thing Reiner did. I will say I think they could have done a little better with Aaron's face in this episode. He does look a little bit dead.
I think that almost adds to it.
Yeah, but I also think this was a very technically difficult episode. They were kind of spread
I mean,
thin.
they adapted only one chapter with this. No, 99 and 100, right?
Yeah, but I mean the whole set piece with the play is very, like, a lot of moving parts here.
Mm-hmm. They have to basically create tension out of just a conversation getting slightly more intense.
Yeah. I love how they show it's like
Mm-hmm.
how the play actually works.
The projections, yeah.
People thought that was John. So people thought maybe Willie was working with the scouts or something. Mostly as a joke. Some people said that Willie was Armin in disguise.
That's funny.
I like how this is like
Gwenno
news.
did not like that.
I was going to say, how could this possibly be news to them?
Gwenno was shocked.
They just forgot about it for a minute.
What? They can do that?
It's like, oh, wait. Yeah, that's why we hate these guys
Oh,
again.
right.
They cut a lot of stuff from this. I don't blame them. But some of it does make things make more sense. Like he explains here how Reiner is the one who reported that Eren used the coordinate. And they don't understand why or how he used it because they know he's not a royal. But yeah, that's why it's more urgent to them now. Do you think? No, I guess.
I don't think she has seen her. I think she just I think she's just sussed out by Yelena.
No, she has seen her. She talks about it later. But originally the translation made it sound like they were like romantically involved, which I definitely don't think was intentional.
No. If this chance run-in didn't happen, then Sasha might have lived.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was trying to think of like little things that could get butterfly affected during this, but honestly, not much.
I thought you were gonna say you wished you were that guy.
No, I mean, that's not what I was gonna say. No. I like how Falco's just awkwardly hovering. Do you think he's realized it's Eren specifically?
No, I think he just knows that it's someone who shouldn't be here.
This is so funny. Imagine being told the entire like history of the world is different.
Even Reiner's like, wait, what?
It distracted him.
I love how every scene is a different color, pretty much.
It's a fun one. Yeah, one of those like color grading things would look cool. Helos wasn't real?
Believe me, this is going to cause a commotion.
It hasn't yet.
Well, they're waiting for him to have a break in his commentary, I think. I was going to make a joke they go home and like throw off other Helos merch. Forgot all them die.
Yeah.
Look at this beautiful detailed drawing here.
We've been racist for no reason?
I love how it's Kenny and Yuri there.
That is such a great detail, though obviously not what Willie's picturing.
Because that is word for word what Yuri said.
That was such a delayed reaction. Everyone reacted like a minute later.
Well, they didn't want to interrupt him, so they
But they
stifled
didn't-
their surprise.
Their gasp, yeah.
Did they build the pit, or was it already here and they utilized
Yeah,
the
it's
pit
very
house?
odd. Pit to restrain warriors.
This is elaborate, right?
It's very elaborate. How are they digging this pit for so long?
In the
It
middle
does
of the
not want.
house?
This does not want to be thought about. Maybe this is Yelena's house.
Maybe.
This would take so long to dig.
You probably run into like sewage systems and stuff. Too.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to have already been there.
This part is fire. I love how the drums get more intense. Oh, and the iconic line is coming.
Oh, yeah. The line that would be repeated at movie theaters everywhere.
I like how it's a season 1 song too.
It's such a good recontextualization of it. So demonic.
I love how they start showing him as like a devil. He looks a lot more demonic.
He looks so evil in season 4. It's so intentional. It's
Yeah.
like his entire head shape's different. That's like the most iconic. Well, I think it's a different line delivery than in the trailer.
Yeah, it is.
The one in the trailer is like the most iconic time anyone ever says Eren's name. That's like Willie's greatest cultural contribution.
It's so weird. I don't understand it.
Everyone would go Eren Yeager.
But why?
Because everyone watched the trailer. Because everyone loved that trailer. Do you think Falco fully buys into the speech that Willie's saying?
No.
I mean, he has no reason not to believe that a maniac has the founding titan that he's looking at right now. Falco obviously isn't fully propagandized, but
Oh, okay.
he's
yeah.
probably
I get it.
absolutely terrified realizing that he's looking at Eren Yeager right now.
Oh,
the,
yeah,
the
for
man
sure.
who has the nuclear codes.
This is one of the most insane plot developments of all time. Who else has ever taken their shonen main character and done this with them? Like, it's crazy.
So when I first read this, you were like, Eren's making fun of Reiner here. And I mean,
He is a little bit.
a little when he's like, you were just trying to save the world.
He's,
But I wouldn't say that's like the main mode of the conversation. He's prodding him to come to the conclusion.
yeah, and he's giving Reiner like a ridiculous and like insulting degree of
Forgiveness.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
he's absolving. He's like, you guys didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
When he knows that even though you can not know what you're doing, still do something like unforgivably evil, and that
Yeah,
he's
because
about to knowingly do something unforgivably evil.
I think what happened is and I'm sure I know I said this definitely better than I could right now in the actual video I made, but he had the same journey as Reiner where he came to realize that people were just people. And so he would know that there's no way Reiner wouldn't feel guilt. So I think he's capitalizing on that to really lay in. He's trying to get a response out of him, basically.
It's so interesting because it makes you wonder why he's doing this, like for his own motivation. Is he just like entertaining himself?
I think he wants affirmation that he's not the only one like this. I think that's mainly it.
Yeah, I think I've thought about it before and come to that same conclusion that
Yeah, because I mean he
hearing
feels,
Reiner's feelings validates him one way or another.
He feels a lot of guilt for what he's doing. A lot of people very much misunderstand this line. Eren is not literally asking why his mom was eaten by a Titan.
I think it's very
Obvious.
I think it's very obvious. I think it's very funny that people are I don't even think it's genuine. I think it's very disingenuous that people will go, "Well, why did he ask there if he did it himself and he knows he did it himself?" Well, for one, I don't know if he does he yet know that he did it himself?
He doesn't know.
There you go.
But also that doesn't matter.
And also it doesn't matter because that's clearly not what he's saying here.
Yeah.
He's also obviously projecting onto Reiner a bit here too.
Yeah, you said it. A lot of people who say it are definitely disingenuous, but there are people who are like genuinely like, I don't know if they're not paying attention or what. First of all, people who think that Eren knows that he's the one who sent the Titan after his mom, he doesn't know that yet. There's no way for him to know that. And even if you think Eren knew like more stuff about the future, that is explicitly the one thing that we know he didn't know, because he says he only learned that after seeing the past and future all at once while he had the Founding Titan. So literally that is the one single thing we know he didn't know at this point, like 100%. Second, he's not literally asking why his mom was eaten by a Titan. Obviously he knows that. He's asking why did Reiner do his mission, but like he knows that too. He's asking more on like a personal motivation level. And the people who don't understand this is like, have you not seen a show before? Have you not read, like, have you not seen a work of fiction? I don't understand.
They've never seen anyone speak anything more than completely literally before. But it's the exact same in the conversation. He's trying to get him to confess why he really did what he did.
Yeah.
And then the second Reiner says why he did what he did, Eren's like, "Oh, that's okay. Me too." And then he does it.
Like, to think Eren's being literal here, what do you...
Why
would he
right.
ask that? It would make no sense, even in the like least.
It's like he forgot the basement reveal.
He forgot the plot of the show. He
Yeah.
forgot why Titans attacked. Yeah, and
So
see
even
here-
there, he didn't get the answer he wanted, and he knew Reiner wasn't being truthful.
Oh yeah,
He's like, "Oh, I guess you had no choice."
this whole thing is really him like amping up the pressure until Reiner finally is like, "No, I did it for me."
And I love this bit where Eren is embarrassed, and he's like, "Oh, that's why he doesn't get it yet."
Yeah,
The manga translation of that panel is so much funnier, though.
yeah.
It's like a really dramatic. He's like, "Oh, did I say
I mean,
that?"
I think that is a funny moment because it's Isayama acknowledging how not Isayama, but
It's like the plot line. It's like acknowledging that Eren was really annoying.
Yeah. I mean, the most interesting thing about this is Reiner understands what Eren is saying. Like, he understands now they've gone on the same journey, which is why he confesses. However, he doesn't make like the next step in that like logical chain, that just like he understood the walls people were normal people, specifically Trost. He knew that those were normal people, but he did it anyways. He's too slow to figure out, oh, Eren's also about to attack these people, even though he understands that they're just people. You get what I'm saying? Because if he
and that's why he cracks here.
He cracks because he realizes that Eren understands him. But I'm saying he doesn't make the next step, which is, oh shit, I need to take Falco and get out of here because Eren's about to attack the city
does not
like
look good
I
in
did
that
to
frame.
Trost. Yeah, he doesn't.
No, yeah, you're right. He looks really bad in that frame. Oh my god. So yeah, it's like he still thinks Eren's better than him here.
Yeah. He should have immediately attacked Eren or tried to get away.
Yeah, but instead he's confessing that. God, this is a complicated thing. I do not have enough caffeine to brain power this fully.
You think people are like, oh. Do you think Eren was like that? Because if he
And
believed
Eren's
he was
like,
literally
"Wait,
asking.
you did that? That was you? Wait, you're a Titan?"
I love the overlaying of Willie's speech going back to Reiner, like the duality of it. Oh, and yeah, Willie's callback to Eren's.
Because this world is
Ideology.
his birthright.
Season 1 in the dub, they changed.
I was born
Because-
into this world.
Yeah, they changed that to the world beyond the walls is my birthright.
The world beyond the wall is my birthright!
That created some problems because that gets brought up again in Uprising Arc and then here. it's an issue with the dub changing lines. They don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a lot to talk about with Willie here and why he says that and Aaron's reaction to it. Aaron seems to have some kind of realization there, but I don't really understand what it is. And in general, I think Willie's an interesting character. I don't know what I would say about like what even is his ideology here. Like Willie hates Eldians, but he doesn't want to die. So I don't know. I'm sure other people have talked about this better.
Reiner wants to die, but he doesn't hate Eldian.
Yeah, you think there's some parallel between them? Because it is like, it's cutting to Reiner saying he wants to die and then Willie saying he doesn't want to die.
I haven't thought too hard about their parallels.
But you think the cut is deliberate, right? How
Yeah,
it is
super
deliberate.
deliberate.
Contrast.
It's like 100%. He says, I just kill me, and then he says, I don't want to die. And then it cuts to Aaron when he's like, I want to join you. Gwenno was moved to tears.
They added this. The Marley
It's very
soldiers
weird
gathering, yeah.
That they would have gathered outside Aaron's basement. How could they have even found that out?
Yeah, I think that maybe the anime director just wanted to create more tension with the idea that Aaron's about to be caught.
I never thought about how it'd be impossible for them to like figure this out.
This is one of the best scenes in the whole show.
And Aaron clearly doesn't understand Reiner. He's like, I think we were born this way. As if Reiner's anything like him here.
Oh, Reiner still thinks Aaron's probably about to side with him. And that's the fucking greatest scene ever, where Aaron goes, no, actually, I'm going to kill all of you.
Yeah.
It's
Reiner's like, what the
so
hell?
crazy.
Yeah.
This is the moment Aaron became Heisenberg. I mean,
The Attack Titan. The show changed from Run Aaron to Run It's Aaron. Look at the rock. The impact of that rock and the guy behind our Gwenno here.
yeah.
Oh my god, he looks so evil there. I love his 2D there.
I think the main thing that's interesting to me is how people have kind of forgotten that it was such a unexpected thing for Aaron to do that. And especially after that conversation, because the conversation is literally him admitting he's matured beyond, we need to kill them all, you know? And it's him...
but that he's still doing it.
No, I mean, the conversation is him saying, I've moved past who I was in season 1 to 3. Because he's not the immature little kid anymore who's saying...
yeah, he's instead a grown man who wants to murder.
I mean, more in a sense that he's saying, oh yeah, I'm mature now, and also I forgive you and understand you, and I'm going to kill all of you. Like, it's crazy. There's no build up to it. Like, he just does that, right? It's like a sudden flip. I think that's definitely been lost by a lot of people. And like you were saying, that
do you want me to give my testimony when I first read that chapter? When I first read this, I think my friend who did not perhaps understand that as well as he does now, that's a insane. It's funny you say people now don't get it, but you didn't then get it.
Okay, yeah, I'm guilty.
Yeah,
Well,
it was a heel turn. Because when I first read, you were like, okay, don't read. There's a really good edit on YouTube. And then I was just like, the whole time it's building this tension and building tension and building tension. I'm judging you for your sins right now. I wish I could have read this.
Yeah, so I'm sorry for stealing it from you. But okay, to be fair, the entire manga community immediately forgot what the point of this chapter was, because it was like, hype, Aaron's going Aaron's run, it's season 1 through 3, run, it's Aaron.
Yeah.
So it was so easy to forget that it was like, no, this is one of the craziest developments ever.
Do you think I don't know how much of that Isayama would have seen, but do you think he's like, wait, what? And he was probably, wait, no. That's not, guys, wait a second.
I don't think so. I think Aaron is
thinking.
season 4. Aaron is cool, and I think it's on purpose. And I think he's doing he's doing kind of like a Fight Club thing, where it's like here's this Chad, but oh wait, actually he's pathetic. You know, we had that whole conversation. We didn't mention "You See Big Girl," which is the song everyone wanted. "You See Big Girl," which is the Reiner Bertolt reveal theme.
Yeah. That like we said, this episode was not meant to be a tension build. Well, I mean, the conversation is clearly intensifying, but the climax of it is supposed to be Reiner is like overwhelmed with emotion, and Aaron's like, it's okay, and he extends his hand out to him, and that's supposed to be the resolution. But it's like a cliffhanger, sudden twist that, surprise, I'm still killing you. People complained about the OST choice because what did they play? What's it called?
They played 2 Volt, which is like a nothing track. I mean, it's like fine,
but it's not a nothing track. It plays when Levi fights a Beast Titan.
It's like a not that memorable track. It's good. It's just like not it's not what people wanted. I think they could have made a new track for the scene, but I mean, I don't really see the point of it. I think it did its job. For the reasons we said, they could not have done You See Big Girl. That entire track relies on the build up. Like,
yeah, that entire track is a 5-minute build-up, intensifying thing. And sure, you could have the drop over Aaron and Reiner shaking hands, but that's not a very musically satisfying,
Yeah.
visually like that's not a good audiovisual moment. And you need to think about those things when you come up with
Yeah.
soundtracks, which is why The Reluctant Heroes is a much better song to put over it. Yeah, I mean, 2 Volt is a pretty nothing track, to be fair. I think, you know, You See Big Girl wasn't obviously very fitting for it, but 2 Volt wasn't perfect, and we decided to make our own edit of it, and I want you guys to see that right now. I'm pretty proud of this. Okay, that episode sucks, but enough. Gotcha, guys.
I think it's not as good as the manga version. And I mean, like you were pointing out, there's some weird off-model moments. The main problem I have with it is I don't think they really captured Aaron's expressions, which I think were really important for it. He kind of has a dead look on his face the whole time. I think the actual transformation scene could have been a little more fluid. I don't like how they cut the people in the apartment building getting exploded from underneath. Writing-wise, this is definitely one of the best chapters.
I love this episode. I think it's a...
I don't know if it's an S+ is the thing.
I don't think it's plus either.
That's shocking me because in the manga, I would say this is like definitely a top 5 chapter. And I think in episode form, it just isn't quite as good. I don't know. I think people are going to be very mad at us for this.
I don't think people are attached to this as a top 5 episode.
I think they are.
You think so?
Yeah. People love this. And I mean, I love it too.
Yeah, I mean, it should be clear from our discussion that this episode is very pivotal, very important, very well done, very well executed.
In terms of writing, I think this is Isayama really showing he has like a really good understanding of
character.
This is some of his best character writing for sure. Like the whole Aaron and Reiner thing is insane. Like there's so many layers there.
You know what I think is interesting?
What?
So your Aaron video is very, very well beloved, even though it has some detractors naturally. But I notice a lot of them can still concede that your analysis of the Aaron Reiner scene is good. They'll be like, the video is pretty good for the first bit. You know, that conversation with Aaron Reiner, he analyzes really well, but then he's wrong about the ending.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, is that what we're bringing up? Just like the
yeah,
fact?
I just thought of your analysis of it, which is very good, and everyone should watch that scene in the Aaron video.
Yeah, writing wise, chapter 100 is definitely one of the strongest, like for sure. I think there's no competition. I don't know. I don't know if this is like Reddit getting to me. It feels like there's something slightly lacking with adaptation. Like it's not quite as dynamic or quite as intense as it could be. I don't know.
I think
what do you think?
The same could be said about season 4 slightly in part 1. Just in general, there's just a slight because Mappa's new to it. Mappa very much does things less dynamically than Wit did. I mean, objectively, which is, you know, good and bad. And I think they're still very much finding their footing here. But I mean, I still very much love that episode. I don't have huge problems with it.
Yeah, I would put it probably at the top of S tier. I don't think it's S+ though.
I agree.
I think it's shy of it.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great S tier episode though.
So this is all added, which is really weird.
Especially because they showed these 4 kids at the end of season 3 credits.
At least what looks like them, uncannily similar.
So it really made us think that they were gonna do something with them, like they were alive in a blimp flying around the Rumbling or something. How could he know that Parody would be there for this?
Yeah, I think you're just not supposed to think about it too hard. I think they have like, it's just like their security guys, I guess, know that someone's infiltrated. I think he's assuming because this is like it is bait.
Yeah, it's just weird that he would imagine them to be able to take the bait literally 5 seconds after he says it. It always bothers me because I'm like, am I missing something? What? How could he possibly know they were gonna be there this second? He knew that there'd be a counterattack. It's interesting. He said he was trying to improve the relations of Eldians because he literally was not. What was he doing? He wasn't doing a very good job considering he had the most power of anyone on Earth.
Aaron and the scouts could have undone his entire plan if they had just like actually extended an olive branch instead of what Aaron did.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because his whole plan relies on making them public enemies, which if they took the peaceful path, I mean, obviously there was a lot of problems with that. They could have cornered this guy.
They could have had Armin like placed in the harbor so that they don't preemptively kill Aaron during that conversation or something.
Yeah.
Be like, we have you guys surrounded, but I'd like to talk. But of course, Aaron does not. His goal here isn't the island.
Aaron just doesn't want that. Aaron wants the destruction.
It's like the most detailed his face ever looks.
Willie is an interesting character, especially for how short or how little of the story he's in. He's so fundamental.
He's in like 3 episodes.
That's the thing about a monthly chapter versus watching a show all at once is like, there's time to talk about every single character when you're reading monthly. Willie was the subject of months of this discussion, which is just not something that will happen anymore, obviously.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't experience that except if you were there when it was coming out.
In general, it's like an interesting thing. Like, normally you wouldn't expect people to talk about a character like Willie, but I think there is something to him. This conversation was originally before Aaron's attack, but they moved it to after, which I think was a great choice.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Because does he still say if we'll be attacked, I guess it'll be at the festival?
I don't think they
Beforehand?
added anything.
Then 100 wasn't like a full left turn.
You're right. Well, the left turn is Aaron saying, I forgive you, and then attacking anyways. Reading monthly, we knew the Marley Arc was leading up to something big, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is very foreboding. It's what Aaron does that's unexpected. Not that there's a battle or that there's a war between Parody and Marley. Even Aaron attacking, like, without build-up, I don't think that would have been unexpected either. The twist is Aaron understands what he's doing is wrong.
He's acknowledging that there's basically no excuse for what he's doing.
Yeah. I love how he just looks up as he gets crushed to death.
Yeah.
He keeps wailing at their corpses.
It's funny. What if Aaron was punching Sophia like that? They were like, Sophia. So sad that the last time we saw her, she's like, oh, the whole world's watching us. And she's like, I don't know, it was sweet. And then she's now dead. Also, Udo's getting killed right now.
This is horrible. Udo's death is awful.
It's funny that Aaron's attacking the military like that. Even a little violence here might have been like, okay.
Yeah, no, if he exclusively transformed not underneath an apartment complex and then killed the military guys and then nothing else, then that would be okay. Remember when Aaron broke the unwritten rule of anime?
There's no way he's going to hit this person while she's in the middle of transforming. I mean, you just don't do that. You let them get their transformation. There's no... What? That was really extra Magath right there.
The reveal of its powers is crazy too, because I mean we spent months
With
wondering
the like that.
what does a Warhammer Titan do?
No.
Not the filler character who gets crushed weirdly similar to a guy in episode 1 or 2.
I mean, yeah, they are hammering in that he's doing the exact same thing. Let's put Pyrus on the left. I love them flying in like Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I love how Pika's the only one who knows what it is.
Yeah.
That is a awesome shot.
It's so big.
I love how he punches the pole off. And the cannon's time with the music.
Yeah. I love how he moves.
He's very like jumpy. I don't know what do you call it. The Warhammer's really cool. I wish we saw more of it. I guess he kind of made up for it in the final battle, but it's not really the same. I think Aaron could have used its abilities more interestingly.
Yeah.
I like how he's squared up here. Like, this pose does nothing for him right now.
It doesn't. Wasn't it a parallel to Annie?
That is Annie's pose.
Yeah.
I love how she's like an executioner with her mask.
Mm-hmm. Really good sequence here.
Yeah, this is so cool. I love the green thunder spheres.
This is the Blu-ray recolored version, right?
Yeah. It's funny, even Magath acknowledges here, like, you can't come back from this.
Yeah.
Like, what Aaron did, it just doomed the island. He set them up to have an unwinnable situation, with the exception of the rumbling. Like, it didn't need to be like this, but Aaron made it to where they have to retaliate now.
Yeah, and that's what Aaron's ultimately doing here. That's why I asked you at the beginning. Yeah, he's...
The reason why they do this and why they attack all the officials is to specifically make all the world's armies converge near the island, so that they're a single easy target to take out.
And that's why they think they're doing this here, yeah?
Yeah, they know that.
And they think their next option would be a partial rumbling?
Everyone except Flock thinks they're going to do a partial rumbling, yeah.
Of the world's island, of the world's forces.
Flock knows Aaron plans to destroy the whole world, though.
It's funny because he's like almost like hinting that to people. He's like, oh, you guys aren't ready. He's satirized there in the manga.
Yeah, they really struggled capturing his face because he is definitely very...
He's a little remorseful in there in the manga.
Yeah. I guess he's so desensitized to these deaths because he knows, or he's seen the future where he kills billions of people.
Yeah, but being judged by Mikasa, I think, hits him a little bit. What they need is Dr. Jaeger. He comes out for one last surgery.
They really start hammering in the Aaron parallels with Gabby at this point. Like, the shot here of her gritting her teeth is almost 1-to-1 with Aaron.
She has a side profile of like a My Little Pony there.
I love the reveals of all these time skip designs too.
Yeah, it's cool.
Connie looks way better in the season.
Everyone looks way better this season.
Warhammer CGI is definitely kind of rough.
I loved the way she moved there is kind of silly looking.
Yeah, that's a cool shot though. They do some cool stuff with it, or at least they try to. This one shot where it's 2D, this looks awesome. Why can't the whole thing look like that?
Yeah, it makes me so sad.
I love this scene. It's really showing like he's become much more methodical.
Yeah, methodical, much more like he has agency.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole thing you can say about him finally getting agency when he now has none because he knows the whole future. He's proactive now. He's making like tactical decisions on his own. He's the one who figured out the Warhammer thing. In the past, that would have been like Armin figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. Even the noises he makes sound more evil. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It was like guttural.
Levi coming back was so awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Porco must not have gotten very much out of Emir's memories.
No, I don't think he did either. It makes sense because it's like, I think blood relation strengthens how much you get.
Mm-hmm. He gets so destroyed here. It's not even fair. This is just a really good action episode. Solid A or higher.
I wouldn't go higher than A. I was thinking
A.
it's probably just an A. It has so many good moments.
Yeah.
The ending of this episode just doesn't stand out to me that much, aside from Levi coming back.
Well, yeah, the next one is better. Is like the better. All the
yeah.
most iconic stuff in the battle. But
Yeah, no, that is a really good one.
Classic anime punch.
The CGI could definitely use some work. I would say the direction's still good. It's not bad action. I think they had a horrible.
This is one of the most screwed production seasons of any anime season.
Yeah, not only did they have like 8 months to do it, but it was also during COVID. Yeah, really good. I like what it does. Although it's probably a low A for me, honestly.
Add the clip at the English dub of this where Porco sounds like Walter White.
What the hell is wrong with you? Can't you see I'm a titan?
You see how that guy got hit and exploded into blood?
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's one of the 8 guys who died here.
Just like Sasha.
Yeah, Sasha and Lobov, and then that guy and 5 more.
Is it 8 on screen, or are they said to be 8?
They said there's 8. I wonder if there are 8 on screen. They probably tried to keep it consistent. I love that shot. It looks a lot like Alien, like H.R. Geiger.
It is very Geiger. Oh my god, this is Zeke's first appearance in this fight, right?
Yeah.
I like his pubes.
Yeah, he doesn't look too good. The colors and like the composition here could be better too.
The
It's kinda
Beast
dull.
Titan has like a weird color effect in 3D. The brown, it just up close ones aren't as bad.
Yeah.
Close
I
shots
think
of him.
this part of the season just doesn't look that good.
I like a lot of people don't realize that's like his hand. They're like, how did he do that?
Yeah, and it's
They
very...
think he just like created a crevice. He just created a weird little
wait, look
maw.
at it. Look at it. It's like it is his hands.
It is his hands. It's grotesque though.
What's going on with the fingers? There's so many.
Oh yeah, wait, what? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, at least 14 fingers.
So did he? Maybe it's not literally his hands. Maybe it's like a
Then what the fuck is it?
when Aaron grabbed the cannonball and it like half formed. Maybe it only formed hands, so he could
What?
hold Falco.
Or maybe those are just like weird textured fingers. Like those are like finger joints.
Those are definitely fingernails.
What the fuck?
Well, what does it look like in the manga?
Oh god.
So there's definitely more than
Wait,
10
what?
here too.
No,
Yeah.
is there?
Well, look at this. Look here. Look at this.
Oh, what
the
the
fingers
heck?
are stacked. So
What
I
is
think
going on here?
It is like a Aaron holding the cannonball situation.
Why did?
I think.
How does that work?
He must have just formed hands.
How did he form hands?
Maybe when we see Reiner like in the inside, maybe it'll. Because I always thought his placement here was weird too.
I thought he was like a full Titan underground, and he just like
No,
His hands were sticking
He's like
out.
a weird pocket. Yeah, and it's like they're all weird and fleshy too. See,
Yeah.
he's like in a.
he formed like a hand cave. Yeah, I think this is like the single weirdest Titan transformation in the whole series.
I like how she's concerts in there. It's fun.
Her eye shifting is a really good detail. I bet that tastes so bad. It was goofy. He has teeth missing. He has such a creative solution to this. The instant respawn is so funny.
It's a nice follow up to the scene they cut of him transforming and not being able to do it earlier in season 3.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what the deal
Has
is.
he just been training, or is it a mental barrier?
I think it is a training thing, but it's not really clear. But I mean, it's like Isayama showing he's more competent now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the theories when this was coming out was that I probably said this in another video, but they cut out the line where Grisha talks about how hydrogen is what their airships are made out of. So people thought that their airship would get shot down, and the next arc would be them trapped behind enemy lines.
Because hydrogen would go down, or what?
Well, do you know about hydrogen blimps? They had to stop using them because of the Hindenburg.
Because they were like really easy to break.
No, because they fucking explode if they get the slightest spark near them.
I love when he got so mad that he accidentally crushed all his tiny rocks into little tiny debris. Were those ones too small for them to like kill people? Was that?
I think he was just aiming away from them on purpose.
Okay.
We can see their numbering system there on that watch, but it's not consistent because they show another one this season, and the numbers are different.
That looks cool.
It does. This scene's really good.
So Armin's here to stop them from getting trapped in by the like almost like a pincer by the Navy.
Yeah, especially
which is probably part of Tiber's plan.
For countries, especially in this age, losing your navy was like the worst possible thing because they relied on sea power so much.
Mm-hmm. What song is that?
It's XLTT.
What does that stand for?
Extra Large Titan.
This plays in season
1.
Yeah, it plays when he first appears, right?
Yeah.
That is a really good musical callback, I think.
So they were trying to hide that they sided with Zeke and took him here because Levi just grabbed him. But really, it didn't matter that much.
Yeah, it really didn't at all.
It causes them to be like, oh, Zeke's in on this, so we should hurry.
I like that guy had a pin up in there. Damn, Carlo getting headshot is actually kind of sad.
This scene is awesome. It looks so much like Evangelion.
Looks like Shin Godzilla too.
That kid was in the end of the season 3 end credits.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was dead there too, right?
Yeah. He looks so cool here. And what's really cool is that I think his 3D model looks even better.
Oh, he looks so good in 3D.
Yeah, they really perfected it by the end there. I love how his neck is open so you can see his bones inside.
Yeah, I love how different his Colossal is in general. And his Titan marks are so cool. This has to weigh so heavily on him.
It's crazy that he reintroduces Armin by having him immediately kill so many people.
Yeah, civilians, children.
That's an awesome animation sequence there.
Yeah, it is.
I love how they how they animate his 3D arm getting bitten off. Look at Kozlo. He's standing so still.
It's like Drax.
Drax. Finding out they somehow procured this airship also like expands the scope so much because it means they have allies on the outside world.
Dude, Porco gets beat so bad. He has no experience.
He loses every time.
I mean, it's probably a good thing they didn't send him. He kind of sucks.
Aaron looks really demonic here.
He does. He's so scary.
It
looks like he's laughing as like around here pretty soon.
Oh yeah. No, he looks so creepy.
Like when like right there, he's like, ooh.
This scene is actually like really visceral and kind of
it's gross.
It's gross.
Grotesque.
It's hard to watch almost when he swallows the blood and there's the sound effects they use for it.
Yeah. I mean, he is just eating a human being right now.
I don't like the way his throat moves.
Gulp, gulp, gulp. And I guess he got enough of her to count.
He seems like aware that he's gaining the Titan power there.
Yeah, his like pupils dilated.
People thought that maybe Porco was actually the one who got enough spinal fluid and he'd be the one with the warhammer.
That's the lamest character they could possibly power up of any of them. All right, let's see how the Armored Titan's looking. Oh.
Why does he look like that?
Not so good.
And they made it worse. It was way better originally, and for some reason they thought it wasn't good enough. They made his like jawbone stick out here, so he looks
like a Scott Cawthon human. It's a good battle episode.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's like a standard battle one. I think it has some really good moments.
It's like a solid B.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Compared to other battles, I think it has more substance with the return of Armin, the airship showing up. Aaron's definite, very villainous act of eating someone alive.
Peak's gunners getting killed.
What?
The Peak gunners getting killed.
Yeah, but I still think it's not.
Yeah, I kind of gave an example that wasn't that. I was just thinking of cool shit in the episode. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's a little more substantial, but I still think it's about B.
And you think it's worse than the Warhammer Titan?
Yeah, that's just classic.
I think maybe if it had God tier level animation, I think maybe that would boost it. But yeah, you can tell they're definitely struggling.
It's one of their worst animation wise, but pretty good, pretty great episode.
What?
One hit and he's down. It's so funny that that's a cliffhanger too, because wasn't this all in one chapter? Why can't he? Why did? I
There-
guess he
well-
just feels sentimental attachment to Reiner.
There's been a lot of debate on that.
Or maybe he's
line.
seen him. Maybe he's seen him in future memories, and he knows he can't kill him here.
There's a lot of debate on what that line actually says. I remember people, they couldn't decide if it meant Aaron was saying, I don't want to kill Reiner, or if he was saying, like, I physically cannot kill Reiner. So yeah, it is ambiguous.
Interesting. Can you please say unalive instead of kill, though?
This annoys me so much.
Oh, yeah, they did. Why does she run through the same hallway? Maybe is she upstairs here? Maybe there's an identical hallway downstairs.
She runs through the building, down the stairs, through an outdoor hallway, into an identical building, and then back into the
Back into the outdoor that she was just currently at. Was that just an accident?
It was an accident. It was correct in the original TV version, and then they misarranged it
Oh.
in the Blu-ray. The cuts were in the wrong order. That's an embarrassing error to make on the Blu-ray, honestly. Like, not only did that get distributed in Japan, that's like the definitive version of this episode now, forever.
Mm-hmm.
And also it made it to the English release, which is really annoying.
That's so funny.
That will bother me forever now. They made another one too. It was when Peak gets blown up in the last episode. In the original, it was more zoomed in, and they zoomed out in the Blu-ray, but they didn't account for there not being drawings past where they zoomed out from. So you can just see there's nothing. So at first it's kind of unclear why they're so mad at Aaron. Obviously he went against them, but you definitely can't realize yet how much he screwed them over here by doing this.
Yeah, he 100%. He killed any diplomacy chance. The entire world he aggroed the entire world. It's like he did like a move in Civ that made like 10 red flashing things all pop up at once.
So Levi compares him to the people living underground. I think he's specifically talking about...
Because he looked homeless.
No. I think he means more specifically the despair they feel down there, how they can never improve their lives and they're just like trapped.
Well, he's partially saying Aaron looks disheveled and decrepit.
He's saying the expression specifically.
Oh.
The animation here is weirdly good.
Lobov got some Sakuga.
He did.
He really did. What? Her animation's pretty... This episode has good production.
It's cool how he brings Lobov back, who even I didn't remember. That's how obscure he is. Like, why Lobov? Because there were other Garrison members. Like, he could have brought back Rico for this or something. Or he probably didn't want to kill Rico. This is the first sign of things going bad.
Yeah, really. Well, you can see Flock has gone wrong when he talks earlier.
The New Eldian Empire is crazy. It's crazy to say that.
This scene's so sad. I love the way that she...
Yeah, we don't see much of time skip Sasha. What the fuck does that mean?
She got flanderized a little. I always want her food thing to be less like one note than it is, but it really kind of is.
No. Agweno's knee. Her arc is so standard. Like, there's nothing to say about it at this point.
About Gabby's?
Yeah. It does what it needs to, but it's funny that we have just nothing to say about it.
People get so mad at it, and it is like such an obvious thing the story needs. Her little cognitive dissonance displays are really good, though, I think.
Yeah, she's a good character. I think she has the right amount of nuance.
Don't do it. Please don't do it. Please don't kill Lobov.
I really like her ending, too. Like, chilling with Levi and Falco.
I love that she gets to do the headshot on Aaron. That must have made people so mad.
Oh my god, it did. Her killing Sasha made people hate her so much, and then doing that to Aaron, and then waiting a month to find out if he was actually dead was just...
They must have
too
been
much.
so mad at her.
And then she does it again. She gets another shot on, who was it? Oh, Flock.
Right. No!
Okay, you know what? I take back everything I just said.
Go to hell.
She's garbage. That's
Garbage.
What
What an evil character. I like the detail on the gun triggers.
Yeah, this show has really good mechanical design, which I think we definitely said before, but it does. Like, every time they introduce something new, it's...
You can tell it's one of those things he was thinking about, and a lot of like organizational things he was not thinking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even before Marley Arc, I remember reading an interview where he was talking about how long he spent designing Peak's mounted turret. So I think he definitely does really like designing that kind of stuff.
I think he does. Oh, cold.
He ran really slow the rest of the way.
He starts slowing down like a brisk jog.
She goes into combat mode so fast here, like no.
She is highly
hesitation.
trained.
It's actually annoying how fast she gets on here and immediately starts killing people.
They should not have been making noise.
Yeah. It's hilarious that Flock is the one who causes them to make so much noise they can't hear anything.
Yeah. God, holy shit. I like how immediately clear it is that just like fully killed her. There's not like any ambiguity at any point of this fight.
I don't know if anime viewers were surprised by Sasha's death. I don't remember what your reaction was, but I think it's very unsurprising. Like, there's so many death flags with Sasha and Gabby making eye contact earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When this came out, people were like, "Oh, Sasha's
To be
so
honest,
gonna die."
I think you lifted my embargo on the subreddits, and I think I immediately got this one.
Really?
I can't remember for sure. I might have not.
I'd say it's the least surprising spoiler in the whole series, honestly. I think a bigger spoiler is finding out that somehow Connie lives until the end. I think that's more surprising than this.
Yeah.
The way they all start beating her up is crazy.
And it really does differentiate the scouts, like, from the non-scouts here.
Oh, you mean like the
The
Jaeger
you talked about
scouts
like
from-
like the thematic, like the real scout energy, and
yeah,
like if you
yeah.
remember, even from when we really first get to see them, like as an entity, Levi and all the other scouts are gathered around that one dying. They don't really like lose sight of the human cost.
The scouts who joined after the basement, they joined because they wanted to go to war against Marley. The scouts who joined before then joined because they wanted to be explorers, basically. You can see the difference in the mentality here, which ECM shows constantly. Like, they're the only ones going to Sasha, while the other new recruits are more focused on
Victimizing the children on board, even though they're disarmed.
Yeah. Remember how people coped and said, "Oh, she was gonna say Niccolo's name and not Niku, which means meat."
That's
a
classic.
really stupid misconception.
You told me it was true.
I know, because Reddit told me it was true.
Like, I'm glad they bludgeoned this child.
And
Also, this one
Falco
who did
too.
nothing. He was hanging outside. Time to murder them.
Time to throw them off the airship is what Flock says.
Yeah, and immediately Jean puts it down. Oh, these guys are true scouts too, I guess. Jean feels so, like, you can tell he's torn up that he has to deal with the, like, children patrol instead of being with Sasha while she dies. Because he can't trust literally anyone else there to be with it. And he's not going to make Connie leave her.
And this is the reveal that Zeke has been on their side the whole time, which is crazy in its own right. Isayama really does, he creates such a, like, information vacuum. So it's like, how did we end up in this scenario? There's so many unknowns. Hanji's new design looks really good.
Yeah, she does. It always annoys me how, like, only one lens here is fucked up.
They're hiding his eye to show, like, how he's hiding his true intentions.
This is the first time Aaron's weighing in at all.
Yeah.
And they have literally no idea why he just did this.
Yeah, no, they fully think that Zeke is controlling him, or has, like, manipulated him.
And that Zeke's a Marley and double agent?
No. They know Zeke has his own agenda, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason to think, no explanation for why Aaron would make the entire world attack the island. There's no logical reason for that, except that he's aiding Zeke in whatever Zeke is planning. They can't fathom that Aaron is planning on destroying the whole world, which is why they're assuming he's under Zeke's thumb. It's funny this is moments before the Colossal Titan showed up and killed a bunch of people.
God, that scene is still so sad. And this is him validating that his future states are correct.
His laughter is so good. He's clearly distressed there.
I mean, yeah, Aaron does have like a consistent laugh trauma response thing. If you
Yeah.
remember, Hana's death did the same to him.
I was thinking about this earlier because I knew we were going to watch this. I'm not 100% sure on his exact reaction. We can say that it was probably because it was Connie confirming that his future memories cannot be changed. But we don't actually know that Aaron has that memory. It's never shown in none of the fragments. It's never shown. And also, he already has that realization in the scene with Ramsey where he saves Ramsey and he realizes then that it's unchangeable. And then again with where Mikasa.
Yeah, like he knows at this point. I think for that interpretation, it's like a reaffirmation to him that he doesn't have any freedom. Really great episode.
Yeah, really good one. I'd probably put it an A though. I don't think I'd go S.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, it's a one chapter episode. It's very hyper focused, and that's not a blow to it. I think it's just like a very solidly where it needs to be good A tier episode. That's a very diplomatic and non-specific answer. Sasha's death is really well done. I'm glad it has the space.
Yeah, we were worried they were gonna do 2 chapters for this one, and they slowed down, which is a good decision.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha's death is just like really important for the story because killing the comic relief character is
Her death is
it's the show becoming darker, I think, by killing her because you lose that.
yeah,
I mean,
you do
it's-
sort of lose it.
I mean,
It is like an innocence.
Sasha food jokes are not the greatest, but I mean it is like part of an innocence that I think the show like loses here almost.
It is like an anime tropey thing that gets lost. Her death is like a thematic crux of specifically season 4 part 1. Like it's
What do you mean?
thematically like the centerpiece in a lot of ways, like the children of the forest.
Yeah, it's definitely
It is.
one of the most important aspects for like what Isayama was trying to say with it.
We do have to talk a little bit about how he planned to kill her back in season 2.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a long time coming, and he moving it was a really great decision.
Definitely a much better death than killing her right after her big moment.
I can't imagine it would have had nearly the thematic weight and
Yeah,
subsequent fallout that it does.
What would he have done if she was dead here? Maybe Connie?
I don't know. I can't imagine the show up to this point without her. I mean, which
Yeah.
even as as inconsequential she is in a lot of ways, it's like she was important.
She's
Yeah.
definitely very present throughout the show, and people love her, and I think that's for a reason.
R.I.P. Lobov.
Oh yeah, Lobov is the real tragedy in this episode. Yeah, A tier, right?
A tier. Okay, we stopped recording after that last one, and then we remembered that we have to finish this video because we're cutting season 4, part 1 in half.
Yeah, too much for me to edit. So, thoughts on Marley Arc? I think I would say it's definitely one of my favorite arcs. I don't know where I'd put it exactly. I think it's this is such a crazy transition for the story. I'm actually kind of shocked that the editors allowed him to take the story in this weird direction and completely abandon the main cast. Especially in the manga, it was a very long time without the main cast.
Yeah, I mean, that's like borderline a year without seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Eren, you see him talking to Falco, but you don't really see Eren.
Yeah, I think it's done very well. I love the world building. I mean,
It's very jarring. It's good to flesh out the other side.
Yeah, I
right before
love,
killing like all.
Yeah, I love Marley as a location. I think it's really cool. The POV change is really what makes it special, though. Especially with Reiner. Reiner's definitely.
Reiner's a highlight here.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. I think the anime, if they had more time, it could have been even better, but I think it was still good.
Yeah, this half of the season's really important. This is the first bit of AOT I watched as it was coming out.
And I was gonna say what I just realized was this is the first arc we've done that does not have anything in C tier or lower, which is crazy.
And it's gonna stay that way.
I don't think it will.
Yes, it is. No, that episode's not C tier.
In the next arc, there's definitely at least one C tier.
No, there's not.
Yes, I'm sure at least.
That is not a C tier episode.
Guides, I think.
That is not a C tier episode. It has the fucking awesome jacket scene.
It's overrated.
That scene is so much better than literally anything else in there.
Okay, well, we'll see.
We'll talk about that later though. And the next time you get to see us argue over that episode, you'll see that I'm correct. Bye bye.